Hey, sorry about that. Yeah, I just got into the core of the conversation and it just disappeared. Yeah, well, I'm back, so I can call this part B. Yeah, or part two. Yeah, I was just talking about the seed dying, the dying of the seed. Unless the seed dies, it abides alone. That means when the seed is not yet been taken to the ground, it cannot bear fruit. That means it remains alone. Whatever it does alone. It's not able to feed others. It's not able to replenish others. It's not able to replenish itself. Yeah, so it's very important, this concept of the seed dying. And does that mean that the seed should actually plant itself? No. If we are a seed, that means that we have been we are coming from another seed. Yeah, so we're coming from another seed. So if we are a seed, and if you look at it really, if we're looking at the aspect of physicality, because I said we are dual in creation, there's a physical part of us and the spiritual part of us. And if you look at the physical part of us, I'm referring to the seed process, I am a child of someone who was a child of someone who was a child of someone. Okay, same way in the spirit, my thoughts are a product of another person, and their thoughts are a product of another person. So you see, we grow both in the physical and both in the thoughts, and the Word of God is all about growth in the thoughts, growth in the mind. Yeah, the spirit. When you hear the spirit, it's about the thought. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. That means it's growth in the thoughts. Okay? That means that this seed that is not yet put in the ground has not yet, I'm talking about before and after. So before the seed is put in the ground, it's not reproducing itself. Okay, I can also say that it's in a state of now I'm talking about the spiritual aspects of a person who is not yet been planted. Maybe let's see when about what happens when the seed is planted. When the seed is brought in the ground, there's a whole lot to talk about that, first of all. Yeah, because the seed has to understand, you and I have to understand that we came from God. Yeah, so God is actually the farmer. Again, I'm going ahead of myself in again John 15. I've already touched on 14 and now 15. In John 15, Jesus Christ is talking about the farmer. Okay, so I'm going ahead of myself. Yeah, so we are, just to bring this point, I had to touch on that, and it's going to help if I talk about it. So the farmer is actually God. So God is superior. He's the one that speaks and it becomes. Okay, so he's the one that gave a plan that has to be followed, and he's the one who actually watches over his plan to perform it in your life and in my life. Our part is not to compare notes. Our part is not to blame each other. But the comparing notes actually does help in this sense, that it will make you to be a better person than you were. Because when you compare with someone, you should be able to remove the same speck from your eyes. Yeah, that's what happens when you're judging someone. When you're judging someone, you should actually, in fact, be using them as a mirror to look inside your heart and make sure that you don't have the same speck or the same ailment or the same weakness or whatever it is that we're busy pointing fingers at. So here we learn one aspect, because there's a lot to be gotten from that first of all, whoever you are, you see, the word was spoken before. Right now we're reading a word which was spoken a long time ago. It was spoken before. We're just probably getting to catch up with it right now or hear it right now. But it doesn't mean that it's not been working. It has been working. That means if we're hearing this word right now, maybe someone, either myself or out there, are going to find ourselves or are finding ourselves in such a predicament. Right now, I can say that this is talking to me first. This is another note to remember, that every time you're giving advice to someone or trying to share your thoughts with another, that just know that you should take your own words and use them. Yeah, because the first voice that comes out is coming out for yourself, always for yourself. And why do we lose that voice is because we can't hear ourselves. But now we have this beautiful technology of recording ourselves, so we are able to hear ourselves. Yeah, so excuse me. So okay, where was I? How this word right now can help you and I, because we should know that if we are finding ourselves in a place where it looks really dark, like you cannot understand, like night. You see, at night you cannot see easily. At night you can only grope. Yeah, when there is no light, you grope in the dark with your hands to find your way around the house or around wherever. So if you're finding yourself in situations where you don't understand, you're coming from here and touching another place and you don't understand, where am I? You have been